I broke the bolt and the whole strap just dropped. It broke off and fell because the strap is rotted in half in the middle of this bracket that's holding the steps on. So if that tank was full, it probably would have fallen when it did that, but the back end is still holding it up. Got that strap off of there, and then I started peeling this rubber back a little bit, and I noticed, look how shiny. Wonder if we can get a close-up with the camera. How shiny right in there. It's kind of like an electrolysis or something, lifting metal from that point there and a couple others nearby and transferring it somewhere else. But it's all just kind of, I say, rusting away. People don't like to use the word rust on aluminum, but it's the same exact process, just a different color, different metal. It's oxidizing and breaking down and doing its thing. So, but when the tank was leaking and dripping on the ground, I opened the fuel door and there was nothing wet in here at all. So it was not here, although there's a damaged gasket right in here, but not much, just a little bit. But I didn't see any, there was no moisture here at all. Nothing up here, nothing on top was wet. The wetness was showing up from somewhere around this area down. But this strap back here looks like it's in better shape than this one. But you never know, when we get it off we might find something. But I'm pretty sure there's a hole in that tank somewhere. Nothing else. I was about to lose my tank with this, all this rot here. Getting ready to put the big transmission jack under it, and then I'll go ahead and take that last strap off. I already knocked the top of this pin here out with the hammer. Of course, I didn't hit it real hard because it's the end of the threads. The threads are on it. But that's how I got it started through the hole, and also hitting these here on both sides. I guess it is time to lower the jack, let this thing out. Since this is my first time taking a fuel tank off of a big truck, I should probably look around, make sure there's nothing else hanging up in here, and I don't see anything. I think we're loose. One thing that might be, it might be sticking between the tank and these top things here, but there should be some weight there. There's about 4 inches of fuel. So there's probably good 40 pounds, 50 pounds of fuel in there. Letting the jack down, here it comes. Comes the tank just like that. Must have gotten heavy on that end, I don't know how. Oh well. Anyway, haven't picked the tank up yet, but I found the leak. This is all damp in here, where this is all rotted and corroded here. It's worked its way through. This side here, it hasn't worked its way through yet, but it's just about there. So, I do know where I can get a used tank, and that's probably what I'm going to end up doing, because it's going to be rotted out enough to where I'm going to have to grind it out and do a lot of welding on that to fix it. And if it were the only tank available, I would do that. But I do have access to some used fuel tanks, and I'm going to see what I can do before I put this one on. But I might go ahead and fix this anyway, just to do a video, but just keep it for something else. That right there is the hole that is leaking, that I could see right through it. And there's another one up here that's hard to see, but it's there. These other ones might be seeping a little bit, but that's the problem. I'm pumping fuel out of this tank. I should have siphoned it out when the tank was on the truck, but I thought it was lower than what it really is. And I filled this 5-gallon bucket, and what's bugging me about it is this is really, really dark. It didn't go in that dark, no way. I don't know how much trash was on the bottom of the tank that got sloshed around when I took the tank off. You would think that would get sloshed around with the truck driving. I don't know what's going on. I don't know why this fuel is black like that. But I'm going to fill up, well, I don't know if I got enough to fill these gas cans, but I don't know if I'm going to be able to use this fuel. I'll let it settle and see if it clears up. I don't know. If it doesn't, then I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I picked up the used fuel tank that I need, and so far the only thing I think I need to do is this is the old one, and these fittings are facing down, and these fittings are facing straight to the back, facing that way instead of this way. So, and this one's got a nick in it, so I'm gonna go on ahead and replace that with probably replace both of them with these over here, because these are still fresh and shiny. These have been exposed for a long time. It was sitting in the front end of a trailer, so it's got a lot of spider webs and dust on it, but it doesn't seem to have any leaks. It's got a couple of dents. A dent right here, another one down there, but I don't think that's going to be a problem. And I'm going to change the sending unit. This is a different style, and mine I replaced. It's been a little while now, probably, I can't remember, maybe 5 years, maybe 8 years, I don't know. But I did replace that. So I'm going, and this one has 2 screws that hold the wires down. This one has a plug. And the only other difference, well, the sending unit is, as you're standing next to the truck, a little bit to the left of the fill tank, of the fill, and on this one it's to the right and a little bit farther over. So I don't know what kind of access I'm going to have to it at this point once the tank is installed. And then the only other thing is the height. When the tank is standing up on end, the height of the fill neck is about 2 inches higher than this screwdriver. Over here we're going to be closer to maybe 4 or 5 inches. So I'm hoping that we can just mount this tank a little bit closer to the back. You know, once the straps are on and everything, maybe we can slide it a little farther back a little bit, and maybe get the that to actually you know, if you look at where the straps were, there's a mark where the straps were on this one. The fill neck would probably be about in the same place if these tanks were standing side by side, where the straps mark was in the same place. So, because look here, this strap's about maybe 4 or 5 inches away from the fill. Same thing over here. Hopefully there's nothing that's going to be in the way on the truck. It's going to be moving back. I can't see, there's nothing back there. It's got plenty of room to mount that way. So we're fine. What I do need to do is get these bolts out. These up here I got to get off too, but at least I can get the nuts, take the nuts off. But in either case, I'm going to have to hold the bolt in the back. Maybe not here. This one's probably going to be stuck in there and the nut will come off, but these I'm going to have to get the nut off, and I got to do it on both of them. And inside this frame is just loaded with stuff in there. I'm laying on my back now. I'm going to try to see all this stuff is in the frame where I can't reach those. So I'm going to try to see if I can pull these out of the way. I might need two hands to get in there and do that, but we've got a strap going around this stuff, and it's right here where I'm pointing, and it plugs into a pin that's welded onto the frame, and I'm hoping I can just pull this off of that pin, but I need two hands to work at that, because the bolt that I'm after is going to be right underneath all of this stuff. Okay, I did pop that off of there, and I'm feeling around and finding another one. I got to get those off. They're hard to see from here. Let me see if I can find one I can show. Here's one here on the other side, don't have much in it. And this just will pop off of there. You pull on that enough and this will come off of that pin, and it just plugs onto it and it holds it here. Don't want to break it, because then I'll have to find replacement zip ties that have this anchoring system built into it. I'm going to try not to break it. But that's what I just popped loose over there on the other side. It's one of those. And so the bolt that I'm after is kind of like this one that's underneath this thing. Well, with that huge bundle of hoses and wires, how am I going to get at it? I can't. Got to pull that off. Got this one off. This aluminum block kind of fell out from under there. According to this pattern up here, this print, I guess the big side of the bolt holes was up. Anyway, it's a spacer. And this one's just hanging loose, so I got to take that apart. But of course I had to take them off like this in order to do this. Got to do the same thing over here. Sorry I don't have all of this on camera, me fighting with it. One of the reasons I don't know how long it's going to take me. It could take hours. We can't record all of that. Anyway, I am letting you know what I did after I did it. So anyway, this one's off. I gotta work on this one.